now going to spin out this VM. Going to spin out this VM first with this public IP, right? Let's just do that. Go back to your this one there. And how can I release that IP? Go in a networking. Go in a network interface. Commit on that same setting and then release this one. Right now, virtual machine. This is to be waiting for that public IP to be released from here. So 3 public IP already have it here. Okay, it got released. Let me create now VM there. This will be in a VM. This VM will be in a VNet 2. The internal VM in a VNet 2. Demo RG. I'll call it as a internal VM, right? The same it is as I given in my demo, in my architecture. Again, going to be in Central India. Going to use standard and Windows 19. Okay. So, is you hear me? No. Let's say I'm also allowing that port here just for my sake, which is not needed, but I'm doing it here. So now VNet 2, this will be, sorry, VNet 2, this will be, and in my default subnet, which is I only have one subnet there. Now public IP, I can attach this workload VM public IP, which I just released it from there. Right now, next, keep everything as it is. This is I'm creating it so that I can take that access from the firewall of my other VM. Now one thing more left, DNS zone and then VNet peering with the hub network. Okay, till the time this is happening, let's just go and create one private DNS zone. So I'll create one private DNS zone. You can search it as a private DNS zone. Private DNS zone here. So you need to create one root domain. What will be my root domain? motiopshub.com. Okay, so it will be motiopshub.com, right? This is going to be my root domain, and then web, I'll create one record for web, and then so how this is going to be work? So I'm creating one root domain, which means my DNS zone name will be motiopshub.com, right? motiopshub.com. This is my root domain name, right? Root domain, right? Now I have that URL which is working as an web dot this motiops, right, .com. How can I create that? So I'll create the record, CNAME or ANAME record with that web, and will provide that IP address. So the entire FQDN web and then this root domain, it's going to append it there. So if I'll only create the record for web, the entire URL will be web and then motiops. This is going to be appended from the root domain. Let's just do that, motiops, and then next, keep everything next. Great. Okay, this is created. Now let's do another thing. Go in that VNet and do the peering. Go in the VNet and do the peering, and then we need to also do the routing part. So I'll do one thing. VNet 3 is my hub network, which is firewall network. So I'll pair everything with this one. So VNet 1 and VNet 2, I'll do that pairing with the VNet 3. I'll open VNet 3. There someone asked the question, the route server, right? There you will get that. VNet pairing, click here. So remote pairing link, I wanted to have it that VNet 3 to VNet 1. Okay, so VNet 1. Yeah, this is what, yeah, VNet server, right? So to gateway server, route server, which you are talking about, if I do not enable this one, it won't take the traffic from here there. But for that, I need to have one VPN gateway also there, right? Because that needs to be act as the next part. So I do not need that, but this is what someone asked the question, just to tell them. You have that option while doing that pairing. Now let's just see that pairing link is VNet 3 to VNet 1. I'll select that forward traffic there from also. At this pairing. And then again VNet 1, VNet 3 to VNet 3 to VNet 2. VNet 2 this time. I want this to be forward traffic there and there. There and there. So pairing, yes, I'm doing it that pairing. Okay, so this is fully synchronized and connected. So both the pairing in place now. Right, private DNS zone. What happened with the private DNS zone? Okay, private DNS zone is created. I'll create one record here called my what record? I'll create one record set and I'll create one record. So it will be web, right? Because that name which I created, and it will be pointing to what? It will be pointing to the IP address of my VM. That which VM? Workload VM 10.1.0.4. Okay. TTL values, I'll put it as a second. So it will every time it will get refreshed in 1 second. Now next. So far you guys are getting me, right? Everybody is following me. Any questions so far? Okay, no questions. If you have getting any doubts, right? Anything which you are thinking like I'm not getting it, feel free to ask. But I'm just trying to set up this entire architecture here, right? So far what we did it, uh, this WAF configuration is done. App gateway configuration is done. Private DNS and the record configuration is also done. Workload VM with the server configuration, with the DNS configuration, where a domain name hosted is done. Azure Firewall. Azure Firewall is configured, but Azure Firewall is created, but configuration is still pending. This VM is created, but I mean the internet checkup and all that is pending. And then UDR is also pending, which points this route to firewall for this VM access, right? So that UDR is pending, and similarly the other UDR is also pending. So what is next? Let's just see that firewall. We just first create that UDR first. So record is created, right? Record is created, and then record is created. Now what can I do next? Private DNS zone VNet is created. Application gateway, traffic manager config. Let me do that traffic manager config also. And go in a settings, endpoints. Here what you need to add the endpoint. I will not get the endpoint detail. Why? If I'll enable that endpoint here, right? And if I'll, let's say, putting any name here, and if I'll select that public IP address, it's showing cannot be associated. I want to associate this public IP, app gateway public IP, but it's showing cannot be associated. You guys are getting me, right? Why it's not? Anyone can guess the answer. Why it's showing cannot be connected? Because I want to connect this, right? This IP. It's showing that, right? I cannot connect this one. It's showing me. So for that, if you see there, you need to configure the DNS name. How can I do that? Very simple. Go in a public IP address, right? And then app gateway. This is what I want to do. App gateway. And then configure the DNS naming here. Go in a configuration. This is showing you optional here, but this is mandatory for traffic manager. So let's say I'm saying it, demo app gateway. So this is going to be demo app gateway. So this is not available. Let me put something QRT. Demo app gateway qrt.centralindia.cloudapps.azure.com. This is needed. Otherwise, you won't be able to add that in an endpoint. So I provided that configuration, DNS labeling here. Now let's go back to your traffic manager. Now go in a democracy, go in a endpoint, and configure that endpoint again. So Azure endpoint, app gateway, PIP, right? I'm enabling that endpoint. I'm selecting the public IP address. I'm selecting now it can be associated. I'm selecting this one also. I'm putting that priority as in one here, right? Also enabling the head check. So it's going to identify that. Okay. Let's just to be added. And this will take some time to check the stating of monitoring status of my endpoint. Okay. Now come back here. See for the firewall. Oh, how we are good. I mean, the things are working with the firewall. So we have that firewall there. I have this Azure firewall policy. This firewall policy. Right. Go in a firewall policy here. DNAT rule, rule collection, network rule, everything is there, right? So what I'll do, I'll write one network rule. For what? I'll say that the VM which is there, the VM which is there, the VM, workload VM, right? Workload VM. What is the private IP of my workload VM? Is 10.1.4. And what is the private IP of my internal VM? 10.2.0.4. So let's go in a firewall. Write the rule. I'm writing the network rule. So you need to write the rule collection first. So right, allow, I'm saying it, allow VM access. Okay. Network rule priority. I'll be putting it like, let's say 200. Right. And then action allowed. I want to allow that communication. Right. And I'll say it allow what VM1, right? Workload or workload. This is VWL workload VM2 VM2 to VM2 here. Right. Similarly, the other I'll write the rule for other communication also. So that it can reach out to VM2 to workload VM. And what is that IP address of my VM? 10.1.0.4. Okay. What protocol I want? There are TCP, UDP, any, but I'm saying it, let's allow it any. What is the destination port reaching out? My VM will be reaching out to 80 and anything, but I'll be saying it, let me, for this demo, I'm allowing it any, which means any port they are trying to reach out. What is the destination VM they are trying to reach out? I am trying to reach out to my 10.2.0.4. But for time being, let's just do that. Let's just allow everything. I'm saying it, I want to reach out to my 10.1.04 for this demo on any protocol, on any destination to any destination, which is any IP. But the exact requirement is 10.2.0.4, right? I can put it at 10.2.0.4 here as well, right? But let me do that for this demo and put in there. But there won't be an issue because I'll be putting the DDR very specific there. But for this one, do that. Let me 10.2.0.4 to put the everything same place. So I allowed the VM communication with that every port on IP address and then any protocol. Okay, and then let's just save that. Now one thing is pending, that is UDR, route table configuration, right? Now I need two route table. I need two route table for what? I need two route table. I'm saying it two. I'll create two route table. One say I'll create RT1 and RT2. RT1 I'll specify it on this subnet, on this VNet1 workload VM subnet, right? And RT2 I'll specify it here. And I'll say it, that anything which is specifying to this VM, anything which is specifying to this VM should go via firewall. Similarly, anything which is specifying to this VM should go via firewall. That UDR I'm going to click it now. And then other thing which I left it for the DNS, I'll show it here, right? Let me go back here. Let me, the firewall rule, is it done? Let's see. Okay, so the firewall is created. Let me go my UDR. Click on route table, search on route table. Click it here. Click on the route table. I'll put it inside, okay, and I'll put it in a central India. And then I'll call it VM1, which is workload VM to VM2, right? Next, create. Similarly, another route table I need, and that is for VM2 to VM1. Do it again. If you guys are not getting it, you'll see the recording in your own pace. You'll get more answer there, right? What I'm doing it. So VM2 to VM2 to workload VM, right? And this will be again Central India. I just configure the route table, but route I need to specify there, right? Let's just see. Go in a route. If my route table has been configured, I'll configure the route. So workload VM to this one is done. Let me open this one, workload VM. So I need to specify the route. For that, come here on the routes, right? Come here on the routes and specify that towards, let's say I'm saying it towards VM2. Okay, towards VM2. What will be the VM2 IP address? What is my VM2 private IP address is 10.204. Anything which is 10.204. I'm specifying that actual route here, right? If for the firewall I allowed everything, but here I'm specifying the actual route. Well, let's just do one thing. Specify that entire subnet or entire VNet. So what is there? 10.2.00.24. 00/24. Okay. Now what will be the next step? Next stop my firewall, which is network virtual appliance. What is that IP address of my firewall? What is the private IP address of my firewall? Go in a firewall. You will get it from here. 10.0.04. Private IP is 10.0.04. Copy this one. Put it here. Okay. So now I'm saying it. If this is going towards VM2, which is having that IP address of 10.2.0.0.4, go via firewall. Go via firewall, right? And now where I need to attach it to my workload VM subnet. Where is that workload VM subnet? It is inside the VNet one. So VNet one, and what is that? One is for app gateway, but this is for my VM. So default. So route is added. Now go in a route table again, refresh, come back to VM to workload. Similarly, I need to add a route for VM. So towards workload VM, towards workload VM. Now what is that workload VM IP address? 10.1.0.0.0. I'll enter the entire subnet here. What is the entire subnet? Ten one zero zero 24. Okay. That IP address of my NVA is IP address of my NVA is, I think I need to figure out again. 10.0.1.4. 10.0.1. We'll see if this will 1.4, right? So now I added the route for my workload VM also, and I'm going to attach this route to my workload VM. Sorry, this to VM2, and this will be residing inside the VM2. And this is that only one subnet is there. Okay. Now things are good, right? Let's just do one thing. Take that RDP, take the RDP of this VM2 and see if that domain and everything is resolving or not. First thing, right? I hope this will not resolve now, but we'll see. Connect. So I'm connecting to my internal VM. Open CMD to check this out. Then just wait to come up properly. Now do that and just look up multi-ops.com. Okay, so it's not able to identify that, and I know why, right? Because that we created a private DNS zone, but have not added that VNet 2, their internal VM VNet on that private DNS zone. So let's just do one thing, create that link here. That's the question, I mean, we asked there, right? Go in a private DNS zone. There is a private DNS zone is there, right? And then inside that, you will get the virtual network link. There you need to add that VNet 2. There you need to add that VNet 2. So VNet 2. Right, enable auto registration, but let me do that, but I'm not going to do that, which means if any other VM is going to be added here, it's going to take that. Let me do that. VNet 1. Completed. Okay. I'll add another one, uh, which is my this one, VNet 3, which is firewall VNet. VNet 3. I'll not enable the authorization. This will take some time, but click on OK now. Okay. So this is now. So what we done so far, let me show you all the sources here. App gateway we created, app gateway public IP we created, we did that configuration. Azure firewall we created, Azure firewall policy we configured, right? We specify the gateway, we specify the policies there from VM1 to VM2 and VM2 to VM1. Azure firewall public IP we created. This traffic manager we created and added that endpoint of our Azure uh, uh, app gateway, right? Internal VM we created. Okay, if I'll copy this one, if I'll go in a traffic manager, there is an FQDN, the DNS name. Let me copy that and see. I should get the response. This C name should get resolved to my this response, which I'm getting it here. App server response. First thing, let's just check out this is working or not. Okay, this is working. But if I'll paste my this one domain here, that C name of Azure traffic manager. Yeah, see, from the Azure traffic manager also, I'm getting the response that I'm getting that welcome to my Azure training out there, right? Now, so which means this entire end-to-end flow, not ended from internal flow, from where the user, this actor coming it here, taking the lookup, right, from the public IP, I'm getting the response from the traffic manager to my app gateway to my workload VM, right, which is I'm getting it here, right? Now, I'll do one thing. I'll check from the internal also. Okay, so you guys tell me, if I have this, because this is not that way, right? I'm getting the response from my traffic manager C name, but I want that Moti Ops, which is there, right? Moti Ops hub.com. It should resolve from the internet. It should resolve from the internet. So what you need to do it there? It should resolve to my app gateway public IP. Anyone? What I need to do it there?
Either we have to work with third-party DNS providers, or we have to use Azure public DNS.
Exactly. So you need to do that DNS provider like GoDaddy, any third party, right? But let's say if I want this to my own local system, I want this laptop should resolve to public IP. Then what I need to do? This is for internet for everybody, right? But I want only my local system will do that. I mean, this is kind of jack I'm doing it here. But what we do in day-to-day practice also.
So the DNS server
You
will
need
be
to add
common.
ETC record. ETC record,
Exactly.
like you need to.
Right. You need to add that etc record. You need to add that host file entry. Right. So what I'll do, I'll add one host file entry. What this will be Moti ops. Right. This is for, I mean, what happened, how the DNS work. It's going to first look up to my etc file, that host file. If this record is existing, otherwise it's go for the cache, otherwise it's go for that name record, it's go for that external and all that, right? So first thing it's going for the host record, host name record. So I'm going to open my host file and I'm going to add that motiops.com resolving to what? Motiops.com resolving to what?
So demo quality traffic manager.
No. Anyone? Anyone? Motiopshub.com resolving to what?
IP address of the traffic manager.
Traffic manager will not have any IP address, right?
Okay.
You are coming out there, but you're not exactly reaching out to the point. So Motiops resolving to what?
Public
Come on,
IP of that gateway, app gateway.
exactly. Exactly. Public IP of app gateway. You said traffic manager is nothing. Traffic manager will look for this public IP. All in all, traffic manager is resolving this public IP gateway, right? App gateway of public IP. Let's do one thing. Let's do that. Let's do that, right? Let's do that. So let me create a record for motiopshub.com, right? Motiopshub.com for resolving to this public IP. What is that? It's 20 197.34.324. So let me open that. So this is my hostname record. It will be, the file will be present in Windows, System32, driver, and then etc. Open this one. Go it here. I'm going to copy this host file into my desktop there. So I can modify it here. This is there, right? Let me open in a notepad. And then do that entry there. Do that entry. I'll do that entry here. I'll call that. What is that? My private IP, public IP address. Let me copy that public IP address. 20.247. Will be 20 dot. This is there. Then this is there. It is resolving to motiopshub.com. Okay, motiopshub.com. This is that resolving to this IP. Okay, now all it save. Let me see if this will work. So I save this file and I'm going to replace that desktop file from there. Again, copy this file from here. Let me hide this one. Copy this file, Control X, and then again go to your etc and then replace the file here. Okay. I'll just check once if I got the record here or not. The record is coming it here or not. Okay, so motiops.com is there, right? Let me close that and let me go on the internet. Check that. Instead of IP address, if I'm resolving to motiopshub.com, and I should be getting that. Okay, now my domain is working, right? Now I'm getting that motiopshub.com. It is resolving it there. This web is not getting because the, so why this web is not, I'm able to access it? Anyone? I'm able to access my motiopshub.com. But why not web.motiops.hub.com? Same time, although I created a DNS record, right, in my Azure, but why not I'm able to access this one? Anyone? Why I'm not able to access this one? It's very easy, right? If you pay the focus, you'll get it. Why I'm not able to access this web.motiops.com?
You need to add web also, no? Web as a record in the etc.
I'm sorry, your background noise is coming.
We need to
Okay.
add the web also in the etc record as well, right?
Web also, right? But the record which I've created it here, right? The record in my private, I created this record. Go in a DNS zone, added one record here, right? Added one record. This web. So this is not working there because this is private DNS zone. It should work from the VM2. If I'll try to access this from the VM2 also, let me do that. Open this one because this is private DNS zone, not the public DNS zone, right? Like the way we are doing it here. Then, and see if the traffic is going via firewall. If I'll be able to access, because no pairing is there, right? There is no pairing. We did it from here to there. No pairing from here to here. Pairing is only happening from here. I'm diverting this traffic for my workload VM via firewall. So if I'm able to access workload VM, which means my traffic is going via firewall. Let's do that. HTTP web.motiops.com. See, it is working now. Internally, web is working without no record. Now, I have not done any DNS entry. I have not done any host file entry here, but it is working, right? If I remove this web also, this web record is taking it from there, from my DNS zone. Sorry, I typed it wrong. If I'll do it there, and I'll show you, DNS lookup. Web.motiops.com. See, it's resolving to 10.1.04, which is my private IP address of my other VM. That means my traffic is now diverting via ping is not allowed, but let me show you that. Ping by default, Azure blocks the ping, but now my communication is also happening without any pairing, right? So sometimes it's happened if you're not getting the response from the ping. There is another tool which called PS ping. There is a PS ping is also there. You can use that PS ping. It's Azure native solution, PS ping, right? By default, Azure block the pings there, right? This is going via firewall. That's what it is allowed, right? By default, it is allowed. By default, it is blocked. ICMP is allowed because I allowed anything there. Right? Now you can see from the VM2, traffic is going via firewall to VM1. And now I am also able to access my, from the DNS zone, I'm getting this response and reaching out to the VM1, right? Now, if we'll go in one more steps there on my traffic manager and see what is the monitoring status. Because I also enabled that monitoring status. Is it online? So yeah, app gateway is also online here. App gateway is also online here. So we have entire thing. We have every expert coming here and we tested out the things from here and there. I also attached the route table. I also did that pairing. I also did that VNet subnet configuration, app gateway also, private DNS zone also, web policies also. Let's do one thing. Let's also do one steps more and block my public IP on my WAF level and see that if this is working or not. So what I'm going to do it now, I'm going to find my public IP. What is my IP address? Not detected. So it's 4210557 there. Let me go on my WAF. Let me go on my WAF. Where is WAF? It's there, right? Go in a WAF. Go in a custom rule. Add one custom rule. I'm blocking my block user. Okay. I cannot put that dash name here. Block user. Assign priority as like 100. IP address, right? And IP address contain this IP, right? If this is the case, what I need to do that condition add deny or like what I'm saying it deny the traffic, right? Deny the traffic. Let me do that. Let me apply that. So I'm going to block my traffic, right, for that VM, for that via app gateway. So I should not be able to access my response, which I'm getting it here, right? Now let's do that thing. Wait for some time. This will take some time. WAF policy appended. Sometime will take some time to come in a picture. WAF is updated. We'll check in and okay. Why I'm not blocking it? Why my traffic is not getting blocked? Anyone? Can you see from this page? Even if I'll try it again, this will get allowed. See?
It will only detect and it will
Exactly.
allow.
Exactly. It is in detection mode. They just put in a prevention. Detection means you are finding out if I'm sending any problematic traffic there also, then also it's detecting it, but it's not doing anything. Right? It's just like a person which is
Warning.
behaving warning, right? It just exactly. Thanks for that. It's just warning you. Even for now, it's not giving me a warning because I do not enable that diagnostic settings here on my application gateway. So it's just identifying that, but diagnostic settings is enabled. And if you have that in detection mode, it's just going to detect it. Nothing is going to be doing there. Let me put that in a prevention. I'm putting in a prevention now. So let me put that and then we'll try to do it again, but this will take some time. Let me check if this is updated or not. See, forbidden error, 403 forbidden, which means your access is not allowed. And where I'm getting this response from application gateway. And why? Because my WAF is blocking this traffic from this custom rule. Got it? If I remove this rule here, if I'll remove this rule from here, remove custom rule, and then save it again, I will be able to get my access again. This forbidden error will be no longer. Just wait to see. Just trying it here. This is saving. Still 403. Now I'm getting that access back.